All right, so you're going to continue working on building your mutual fund. Hopefully you get to a point fairly early in the class where your spreadsheet is filled with stocks in whatever theme mutual fund you have created, whether it's a sector fund, whether it's by the industry, the market cap, the different styles, dividends, income, all the different options that we talked about. So we've got our company name, our ticker symbol, sector and industry can be found on Yahoo Finance, market cap. Remember, there's a key down here in the bottom left. Don't enter the number. Tell me what category of market cap it is. And then make sure you're using the Google Finance formula to pull the most recent stock data. We're using that 85, 10, 5% portfolio as a guideline. If you're off by a few percentages, either way, that's fine. Reminder, don't touch any of the numbers here in the gray. That will mess with your formulas and that will throw off all of your numbers. You want to come up with a name for your fund. Remember, the name should give investors a brief idea of what the fund is about, what it's investing in. You could also use your name in the fund as well. Now, for bonds, it's difficult to add individual bonds to a portfolio on a spreadsheet. So we're going to do bond funds. So I just searched up top bond funds, and this gave me a list here. I'm just going to pick some random ones. They should match the style of your fund. So if you have a very high risk fund, maybe the bonds kind of offset it. Or if you want to go all in and make your entire fund risky, you could do that as well. Okay, so all right, here's an investment grade, which is going to be an investment in pretty steady, stable type bonds. I would bet it's probably a lot of government bonds, right? AAA, it looks like about 44% of the fund is invested in government bonds, okay? So I'm going to go over to my spreadsheet, and I'm going to call this Fidelity Investment Grade Bonds. And then I'm going to type in the symbol FBNDX. All right, and then I'm going to use Google Finance to pull the most recent price per share. Make sure I'm using the formula correctly. Click on the symbol. All right, so it tells me that the share price is $7.14. So I'm going to add to start, I don't know, maybe 10,000 shares. That's not necessarily making a dent in the 10%. So I would say probably add 2 to 5, maybe 3 to 4 different bond funds to your portfolio. Okay? Keep an eye on your totals. Again, try to stay within a few percentage points of those stocks and bonds. If you feel like you're running short and you can't get to 20 companies, just if you're a couple short, that's fine. But try to stick to all of the companies that are in the theme of your fund. Okay? Now, the other part to the project, once you're finished with your spreadsheet, every mutual fund will have what's called a prospectus, which is basically a one-page sales pitch that provides information about the fund. The overview, the goals, maybe the performance, who is the manager, but then also where and what is this mutual fund investing in. So this is just a very simple example, and you could go to Google and you could find a bunch of different examples. But again, think of it as a one-page sales pitch. So what you can do in your spreadsheet is you can use some of the information on here to include in your fund. Obviously, you would want to give them an idea of what the overall fund is. So I can actually select these 3 rows here, and then I could go to Insert Chart, and I would want to create a pie chart that tells me, again, since my bonds are so small, it really doesn't show, of the makeup of stocks, bonds, and cash. Most mutual funds prospectus will also talk about the sector or how diverse it is. Now, for this one, this is a pretty non-diverse by sector. It's a little more diverse by industry. So I would select all of the information in that row, and then I would go to Insert Chart. I would want to create a pie chart, and then now I have a nice breakdown of the industry. Okay, so that might be something that I want to include on my prospectus. Okay? The other thing is you might want to do the same thing with market cap. Maybe you have a pretty good spread across different market cap sizes, large, mega, small, mid, micro, whatever the case may be. Also, remember when we research mutual funds, we're able to see what the top 10 holdings are. So you want to give your investors an idea of what your top 10 holdings are. So you can look at this based on percentage, and you could click and say, okay, all right, I've got 6% here, I've got 10% here, and you could copy that information and include that in your prospectus. Right? Now, on the assignment, there's a link to Canva. It should take you to the poster templates. Most of these templates are fairly general, but some of them do have kind of a business theme to it. So you could pick any of these, or you could always just pick a blank poster and kind of start from scratch. But use this as a guide. Use the sample that's on Google Classroom as a guide. You can also search up some other ones. But again, think of this as your one-page sales pitch for your fund.